I look like it. What is this? What is this here? This little guy just decided to join the party. Oh hell. I'm a damn mess up in here. Okay, like, can we please right now? Am I even in focus? Probably not. That's fine. That's how we do it on this channel. Okay. I look like a mole though. Like, can we actually talk about this? Hi everyone. Welcome back to my channel. Today I want to talk about something really important to me and something that I've dealt with my entire life, and that is anxiety and depression. So recently I've been really just not good. I've been really unwell, and I have been overwhelmed to like a max, basically. Like, literally overwhelm is an understatement at this point. And I was like, okay, well, an idea to do my next YouTube video would be to share with you guys my journey of depression and anxiety and how I cope with it. Remember, I'm not a physician, I'm not a professional, I'm just an individual that has been dealing with it her entire life. And these are my coping mechanisms. They may not work for everyone, but they may work for some. Everyone is different in their journey, so please remember not to compare yourself to me. Please remember to get professional help if you need it. There is help out there. Just remember to please take care of yourself first and foremost. The mailman is here, just like he comes every day. He's coming today. Mike is such a good guy. He's such a good postal service man. Okay, can we get our lives together, please, now? I just, like, this morning when I was having my coffee, I wrote down a few things that I kind of think about and try to focus on when I'm going through a depressive/anxious episode. Like, for me, depression I go through episodes of depression. I'm not like bipolar or anything. I've never been diagnosed with that. But obviously, due to certain times of the month or having more stress than in one time versus another, we're going to be more depressed. We're going to be more anxious in those certain times. Anxiety and depression go hand in hand. So I feel like if I'm going to talk about depressive episodes, I want to talk about my anxiety that goes along with it too, because when one is high, the other one typically tends to follow suit. So, or one can basically cause the other to be a little bit higher. So, okay, let's get into it. I only did 6 different things to that helped me get out of that episode or make the depression/anxiety better. Number 1, move my body. I hate exercise. I hate it, but I also love it. Okay, it is a love-hate relationship. I always think that I have to run the marathon, not just do that like 15-20 minute walk that actually gets my heart pumping and releases some endorphins, okay? I always think that I have to lift the heaviest weight, not just, do the motions just to kind of, again, get my heart pumping. I am someone who always like overwhelms myself, so I just give up. It's pretty much what it comes down to, which is completely and utterly just... So although I hate to exercise, and the thought of failure when it comes to exercise, not being able to do something, especially like on a daily basis, because if I do it one day and I feel great, or if I do it for a couple days consecutively and then I stop, I think, oh my God, I failed. I'm done. I have to stop now. I'm just going to give up. Like, for me, it's extremely stressful just to have that kind of routine, and honestly makes my anxiety worse. So welcome to the My Anxiety Causes Anxiety channel, because like that's pretty much everything in my freaking life. Like, I can't. Regardless of the fear of failure, moving my body helps me literally so much. My mood just like skyrockets after I'm done like a 15 to 20 minute walk on the treadmill. Little incline, get my body moving a little bit, break a little bit of a sweat, maybe lift a few weights. My husband is a power lifter, so he writes down some workouts for me, and I go through them. It takes me like 20, 30 minutes and I'm done. And it's like, oh, okay. So it can be this simple. Keep it simple, stupid. If you're an Office fan, more props to you, because you know exactly where Keep It Simple Stupid is from. Okay, just saying. So yeah, so move my body. Although I hate exercise, although the pressure is really on when I do start that like exercise routine, moving my body in any way possible, taking the dogs for a walk, doing some stretching, taking a 10-minute jog, dancing around the house, put on some music, dance around the house, break that little bit of a sweat, and it's going to release the endorphin. Shorter. Can we not, please? Thank you. It's going to release the endorphins, those natural endorphins, and it literally makes you feel so much better. Now, disclaimer, when you're depressed or anxious, the last freaking thing you think about is wanting to get up and move your body in any type of like way. It is extremely hard. I have been in the midst of like the worst depressive episode on the couch, like, ugh, like that heavy feeling. And I have literally had to, I don't even know where I got the strength from to do this, but I've literally had to peel myself off of the couch and go downstairs and just like get on a treadmill. Get on the treadmill and just walk. That's literally it. Or like, I don't know, just like put on like a YouTube channel where you do some yoga. Any way that you can possibly get yourself up and move, do it. It is going to make you feel so much better. Don't worry about tomorrow. Don't worry about doing it tomorrow. Don't worry about how you didn't do it yesterday. Worry about today. Worry about right now and moving your body, okay? It's gonna help. It's gonna take a lot of effort and it's gonna make you feel really tired, but it's gonna make you feel better in the end, and it's always the choice, right? We always have that choice to do something or not. In that case, find the strength, get up, get moving. It is just, the payoff is, oh, just, it's so good. It's going to help. Next one, breathe. Now, I realize how simple this may sound, but whenever I find myself with racing thoughts, like I'm thinking about things that A, may never happen, B, are so far out in the future that it's like, or C, I'm making up any kind of like scenario in my head, I stop. I stop myself and I tell myself, okay, this is ridiculous because I am not living in this moment. Like right now I'm thinking about like, oh my God, the way I emailed that person, what if she takes it as like offensive and no, I'm not living in the moment. I need to come back to my breath and I need to like just hear myself breathe. And I relax every muscle on the exhale and I bring myself back to this moment and I'm just like, Jen, you're not living in the moment. You're living in fake, made up situations and scenarios that are in your head and no place else. It isn't reality. When you're in that case, when you're in that situation where like you're just like everything's running rampant or you're having thoughts because like the depression is just like so weighing so heavy on you, come back to your breath. Focus and just be like, take a deep breath and literally just, I'm not living in the moment. Like right now, okay, I'm in my bedroom and I'm like, I'm not noticing how beautiful my furniture is or how like cute my dog is laying on my pillow right now. Oh my gosh, Schroeder. Oh my God, he's literally asleep like a human on my pillow right now. Like I didn't even notice that because I was too worried about everything over here when I got cuteness in front of me, okay? I always make sure that I come back to my breath. Always make sure because it brings me back to the moment that I'm living in, and that's that. It's something super simple, but just start doing it and start realizing how much you live outside the moment, and it just kind of causes this realization that like, I completely live inside my brain. I may want to stop that. Next up, do your research. I have to leave for a trip tomorrow for my husband, and I hate traveling. Like, I hate freaking traveling. Like, I hate it. I have panic disorder, and it's not like real, like, crazy panic disorder, but I had a panic attack when I was in the 4th grade, and that's what started my, like, panic disorder, like, my panic journey and, like, my anxiety journey. And I had the symptom of depersonalization derealization, or DPDR, which is a form of dissociation. And in dissociation, your brain literally is checking out on itself because the anxiety, it senses danger, and the anxiety gets so high that it literally checks out, and it makes you feel like you're in this dream state. So it's like your body is there, but your brain isn't. Rather than the other way around, where like usually our brain isn't there, but our body is, right? Like, oh, I got to take that breath to come back to this moment. Oh, no. This is the opposite. This is when my brain checks out on its own, and then but I'm still in that moment, and it's extremely hard for me to cope with that. When the original panic disorder like started, I wasn't home and I wasn't in my comfort zone. So now every time I have to travel or do something, I have like, especially like going on a plane somewhere, because like it's taking me far away from my comfort zone, I have severe like anxiety and anticipatory anxiety and all that good stuff. Where I'm getting to in this very lengthy explanation is when I do my research and I look online what depersonalization, DPDR, is, or I look up things like a hashtag on Instagram or TikTok. Like I follow a lot of TikTokers that do a lot around anxiety, and one of them specializes, like she does a lot around her DPDR, and she has been a significant part of like my healing journey in that area. Her name is Lily. I don't know how to pronounce her last name, but I'll put a link for her TikTok down below. But her entire anxiety, like depression, mental illness, disorder kind of like journey, she just explains it so well. And she did this one TikTok where I was like kind of just like scrolling through TikTok, and of course my algorithm takes me to all like the anxiety, depression people. If that's not a sign of how your life is going, I don't know what is. And I came across hers one day, and I realized that she had like an entire playlist for her DPDR, and I started doing more research. And when I went into it, I watched one of her videos, and one of her videos was focused around DPDR and actually how it's your body protecting itself, and it's actually from love. And when I read that, and when I watched the video but like read the caption on there, I was like, this whole time I was resenting myself because I thought that my body hated me and the world hated me and everything hated me and it was against me, when in reality it was just trying to protect me. And I'm like, and it was in that moment that I was doing that research that it completely changed my thought process in this entire like journey of trying to heal. And I started thinking about it from that positive aspect. And I'm just like, oh my God, my body loves me. My brain loves me. It's just trying to protect me. It makes it so much easier and so much lighter to handle and deal with when you come at your anxiety, your depression, whatever you're going through, from a point of love and a point of positivity. Like literally when I watched that, and I was like, well, damn. And it like literally, it blew my mind. Like that little emoji with like the mind blown thing. Insane. Do your research, ask questions, talk to other people about it. Like the more you know, the better off you'll be. Knowledge is power, people. Knowledge is power. Which leads me to my next one. Talk about it. Don't suppress it. Don't hold it in. I held in my anxiety, my depression, my panic disorder, all the things that I was suffering through my entire life because, like, when it comes down to it, I was a young kid. I didn't know how to explain what was happening to my body. And at the time, too, like, there was not a lot of research or, like, exposure on the anxiety, like, depression world, like, the mental illness world. Like, the stigma was very much alive. And since then, so many people have spoken out about their anxiety and about their depression, and it is extremely vulnerable and extremely uncomfortable, but I'm going to tell you right now, it's in the uncomfortable that you make changes, that you better yourself, that you better the world, that you help other people, that you find who you are. It's being in that uncomfortable situation and that vulnerability that helps not only other people, but it will also help yourself. Talk about it. Do not suppress it. Talk to a therapist, talk to your parents, talk to a guardian, talk to a spouse, a partner, whoever you have in your life. And if you don't have anyone, reach out to people. This is where social media and the internet like really come into play and actually play a positive part in our lives, we can always reach out for help. If you feel helpless in the talking situation, if you're watching this right now, reach out to me. I can point you in the right direction, or reach out to someone else who is also like talks about their mental illness. Reach out to them. Hey, where can I go to do this? You know, it comes down to understanding that the more you hold it in, the worse off it's going to get, and the more damage you're doing to yourself. I wish that, so like when I have a therapist and I have an amazing support system, an amazing husband, amazing family, friends, everything. Like I love everyone in my life and they're amazing. And when I talked to my therapist yesterday before I went on this trip, and I was telling her everything, and she's like, well, what does inner Jen need? Like, what does inner child Jen need? What does like that little girl need? Because she's still very much within me, and she's the one causing a lot of this anxiety and a lot of this panic and a lot of like the depression that comes along with it. And she's like, well, what does inner child Jen need? And I'm like, I think what she needs is just to be able to like explain to herself and have someone be like, girl, it's okay. This is completely normal. This is DPDR from a panic disorder, and it will go away. It's only temporary. Literally, if that would have happened, I never would have ended up the way that I am now, in such a severe state of anxiety. Like I would have just talked about it and been like, there's something wrong with me. There's something wrong, and we need to figure the out, because I have done so much damage by keeping it within me my entire life that now I'm paying the price at 35 years old and just trying to heal, just trying to live a normal life. Like so many people can just like get on a plane and go somewhere and they're like, yeah, this is great. I'm excited. Me, I'm like, I absolutely want to stay home with my dogs and hide in my closet. That's pretty much what it comes down to. Talk about it. It'll help. Next up, if you don't talk about it, at least write about it. I'm an avid journaler. I've had a diary since I was like a little girl. Recently, it's been really hard for me to physically write, but my blog posts have been like chef's kiss. My blog posts are like where I get everything out that's going through me, and I put it on public display, because I used to put it in a journal, but I feel like it's very like counterproductive for me. I'm someone who really likes to help others in their journey with their mental illness, and I feel like if I keep it inside my journal, then I'm not really doing anything. Like it's not very motivating. So like being able to type it out on the computer and like create a blog post with it, like, oh my God, it's literally, it motivates me so freaking much. So for me to just be able to be like, okay, I'm gonna type this out and I'm gonna create all of these thought processes around this blog post, and I'm gonna share it with people, and hopefully people resonate with it. Like, oh, that's worth it. That's worth it to me. But if you're someone like me or if you're not like me and you don't like to share your personal thoughts or whatever, write it down, journal it, type it out, whatever you have to do to get it out, do it. One of my favorite journal prompt like exercises is to write a letter to yourself, to your past self, to your inner child, to your future self. Write a letter to your depression, write a letter to your anxiety. I've written a letter to my anxiety like so many times, and it helps so much. Oh my God, it helps so much. One of my most recent blog posts, which I'll link down below for you guys, literally for me, it was like mind altering. I spoke about how much I resent myself and what I've done to myself. Like this whole time, like if I would have just, going back to talking about it, if I would have just talked about it and said, hey, there's something wrong with me, I wouldn't have had to suffer for so long up until now. And I wouldn't have to suffer so long to just try to cope and get through things like going on a trip for the weekend with my husband. Like who, why? So I think for me, like writing it down and writing that one blog post and just admitting the fact that I resented myself so much about it, it was so cleansing for me, because I'm like, yeah, that's where all that anger is coming from. You hate yourself. So writing it down can literally be like just soul shifting and mind altering. So definitely get yourself a journal, anything, okay? Number 6, even though I have said no other numbers. Anyway, I give myself permission to feel that way. Yep, that's right. I don't feel guilty. I don't feel angry. I don't feel sad. Well, yeah, actually I do kind of feel like all those things. Giving myself permission to feel a certain way has literally changed the game for me. Changed the game. I used to think, okay, I don't feel like doing anything because the depression is so heavy, like on my chest, on my shoulders, on my body right now, and I feel so fatigued and I feel so like just like foggy. But when it came down to it, I was like, no, I am unwell and I have a reason that I feel this way, and I'm going to allow myself to feel this way. When you start to resent and like resist, the resistance that you have with your mental illness is only going to make it worse. I would feel depressed and not feel like doing anything. And then I would resist it and be like, no, you've got to push through. You've got to do this. And then I would start to get anxious because like I wasn't doing something right, because I was in such a fog, or I was like tired, or I wasn't doing enough because I was so fatigued. Like it's like this like vicious cycle that we go through. And it wasn't until I was like, you know what? I'm gonna actually rest today, because rest for someone like me is actually an integral part of the production. When you try to keep pushing yourself to go, 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 and you resist the fact that you are like burnt out, you're depressed, you're tired, you're anxious, all those things, you're not giving your body enough fuel to fuel itself up to the production and getting things done, getting through all of that like productive activity. For me, I was always like, no, this is not normal to feel this way, so I will keep going on. And then I would just actually burn myself out and actually make the depression and anxiety like 1,000 times worse. And then it got bad. Yeah, so don't do that. Take it from someone who knows. Like, if you need a day off, like, you need a day off. Like, for me, I'm my own boss, so I know it's very hard for people who work, like, you know, that typical 9-to-5 job. When you go into the office in the morning and you come home at night, you feel like you have to be there, and you feel like you're very pressured. Like, I've tried to do that in my life, and it just doesn't work out for me. It actually makes my depression and anxiety so much worse. Like, I've been at some of my lowest points trying to work a full-time job. If you're in that 9-to-5 kind of like typical like work environment, I always tell people that mental health days are literally real, okay? If you need a day off, you take a day off. Do not feel guilty about it. Stop feeling guilty about the way that you feel and validate your feelings, and know that it's okay to feel that way. Give yourself permission. We are only human, and we do have human emotions, and we do go through like these like crazy peaks and valleys of like, I'm depressed one day, I feel great this day, and then it's all over the place. We're all over the place. I'm a messy person, and I've just had to come to terms with it at this point. I'm like, yo, dude, I'm a little messy, but like, whatever, okay? I get my job done. I take care of myself. I take care of my family. I'm there for people who need me. I'm a good person. As long as I know I got those things like in juxtaposition, I'm good, okay? We're all a little messy. We all need days off. We all, hello? Why? Is this necessary? Is this necessary? Okay. I definitely had to change my SD card there. And my dogs were basically going crazy, so. Okay, anyway, where was I? Regardless, give yourself that time off. Give yourself that day off. Do not feel guilty about it. Girl, you need it. Boy, you need it, okay? We need to have these days off. It's imperative to our health. It's imperative to our production in the future. Yeah, give yourself permission to feel like a fucking mess. I do every day of my life, so you're not alone. All right, everyone, so that is my most current coping mechanisms. I guess we can call them coping mechanisms. I don't know. Regardless, those are some things that really help me kind of get through a difficult time. Other things are meds. Like, okay, like, let's face it, that's a whole nother video in itself. But I definitely hope that this helps some of you. You are not alone in your struggles. I have struggled my entire life, and I'm 35 and still struggling. So I'm just taking this struggle to the grave, basically. So, what is happening? All right, guys, so I hope that you found this helpful, and if any of you have questions, let me know, or if you have your own coping mechanisms at all, please put them down in the comments if you use any of these, or if any of these If any of these help you, put it down in the comments, let me know, because I think that this is a community where we all need to just kind of like help lift each other up and help each other, because sometimes the help is just not readily available to a lot of us, and this is when we really need to just kind of depend on each other and lean on each other and look for help from each other. I'm just rambling at this point, so I'm gonna actually end this video now. So yeah, if you like this video, please push the subscribe button and give it a good old thumbs up. And until next time, I will see y'all later. You got the freaking life, you know that? I cannot. Bye guys.